Live, finally. So let me just flip the camera and sit down. Right, everyone's there. Good. So I'll take questions afterwards and I'll flip the camera again. I want to sit down for this. All right. Have we got news for you guys? So hello and welcome to yet another video here on the SCF YouTube channel. SCF Wargaming YouTube channel. Hello and welcome. So the Middle-earth seminar from J. Clare. So Adam, of course, was in Germany. So J. Clare held his own. And the Middle-earth team, just to give you a quick recap, it's Adam is leaving, sadly. So we will have a replacement for him. So it's Jay as the rules writer and it's Keith and Gab as the full-time sculptors. So they had a retrospective on the 2016, 17, 18 releases so far. And then there was a huge thing that says now. So that's of course the Battle of Pelman Fields, the new Dolamroth Foot Knights, Guritz and Gothmog's Enforcer, and of course the rulebooks and all the other accessories that will follow that game. So I'm expecting you want rules changes, and here you will have them. Every single profile has been reworked and looked at. That does mean that some profiles will stay exactly as they are because they are perfect in their own way, but some profiles have been done pretty much whole build up on. New features in a profile that got a huge ooh. There's tweaks to magic, huge applause, obviously. New heroic actions got a huge ooh. Right. Some general rebalancing for general rules. Building your armies will be radically different in the new edition. And army bonuses for the Lord of the Rings will be in the new Armies of the Lord of the Rings book. Huge applause, wonderful stuff. So they went on to profiles. So profiles, Warriors of Rohan won't change. They are perfect as they are. But Warriors of Minas Tirith will change because they will get the Shield Wall ability. Good. Elrond is now combined into a single profile, costs a few more points, retains Wrath of Brunnen and Gift of Foresight and those kind of things. Now the Balrog is a big change, and that has been said previously. And I did my speculation about the Balrog, about him getting always getting hero combat and his Fiery Lash being able to drag people in. Well, he mentioned the Fire Lash, and there's things that make him move quicker. And if that is always hero combat, or if his move is higher, who knows? He's now completely immune to magic, and he got a point decrease. No, not immune to magic. Immune to fire. I'm sorry. Right, next up is keywords. So every single model will have keywords. So for instance, a warrior of Minas Tirith will be a man. We'll then have Minas Tirith, and obviously warrior. So will be not a hero. So they brought up two things, which was the keywords. So it was under special ability Herald of Victory is now a special for Eastlings. So it only applies to friendly Eastlings, not everyone else. They also brought up a special for Gil-galad, who has a standfast of 12 inches instead of 6 inches. And then that other friendly elven heroes can pass their courage on his standfast. So that's quite big. Next up is Heroic Tears, and that's something I've been speculating quite a bit with not Moria Goblins, but Goblin Town having +6 in the trial specials, not just 18 in their warband. So, for instance, Theoden is now a hero of legend, and Jay describes heroes of legend as leaders of armies. Armies, that's big. Right, so we'll get on to that in a bit. Passive and active abilities. So all abilities will now be either passive or active. So for instance, Theoden has a 12-inch standfast, that's an active ability, and cannot be used if he's not able to do it, like he's free to use a standfast. Passive abilities are abilities that's always on. So, heroic actions. This is where we get to the good stuff. So there will be universal heroic actions, and I figure that's something like heroic move, heroic shoot, and maybe heroic combat. But there will be specialized heroic actions that only some heroes can do. So not everyone will have the access to strike, march, accuracy, and it was implied that captains might lose the ability to heroic strike. It's big. There's also a couple of new heroic actions, and we went through 4. So that is heroic resolve, heroic strength, heroic defense, and heroic challenge. Now we'll get into heroic defense in a bit, but these are quite cool. And I do have an inkling on what heroic challenge is, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm sworn to secrecy. So, right, I don't know what I wrote here. Yeah, so I think that normal captains will be not be able to outstrike a named hero. All right. So heroic defense will be a very, very cool rule. So imagine if you're surrounded by huge amounts of low-level infantry and you don't have a very good defense. So for instance, Legolas or someone else. Heroic defense is an heroic action which makes that you only wounded on 6s. And that is not only 6s, it's natural 6s. And if your opponent needs natural 6s followed by, for instance, a 4 or 5 or 6, that also needs to be a natural roll for the required number. So this really helps if you really think that your opponent is going to do a lot of damage unless you do something about it. Right, magic. Every single spell has been looked at, and some of them have been rebalanced. All magical powers are now in the main rules manual. That also means that all magical powers have a channel version. There are ways to help you resist magical powers, and there are new magical powers. So, for instance, there is a way to get back will when you resist. So, for instance, if I do casting on you and you decide to resist with 2 dice, and I roll a 6 on one of those dice, I will get back that will point spent. Same applies if I roll 2 6s, I'll get back both of those 6s. And that's a huge thing. It's only on natural rolls of 6, so it cannot be mighted. Right. There was an example of the Blade Wrath for the Eastlings. Its channel version is now strength 10. Sorcerer's Blast. This is a big one. Sorcerer's Blast, you now stop on the model you first hit. So that means it's now more of a finesse spell more than a destructive tear down the line spell. So you only hit the one model you blast and the model behind it. There was also a new spell that is Protection of the Valar. So the caster or a friendly model within 3 inches cannot be cast a spell on. The channel version of this is every single model within 3 inches of that model that is the target cannot be cast a spell on. So they're literally safe. Very, very useful for seize the prize missions, a model holding corridor to not get compelled out or, or in or whatever. So it's really, really cool. I really like all of these things. So building an army, right. This is the heroic tiers we've been talking about and speculating about for a number of months now. So the heroic tiers are the higher level tier, the more number of warriors that hero can get basically in his warband. So for instance, Theoden is a hero of legend. That means he can have 18 warriors with him. It also has a special rule with the heroes of legend that is last stand. Last stand for heroes of legend are when you the first time you do courage tests for being broken, you automatically pass that courage test. The highest heroic tier, the character with the highest heroic tier in your army, is de facto the leader of your army. So you can no longer have a ballista captain for Iron Hills being the general of that army if Dane is on the board, for instance. The Allies matrix makes a return, I think. So you have the historical alliances and impossible alliances, stuff like that. So for instance, historical alliance, if you for instance have Minas Tirith and Rohan, they will not lose their specific army special rules, but impossible allies might get a penalty, so I'm suspecting they will lose the ability to use their respective army special rules and get a further penalty. So before I go any further, I'll just check that everything is okay with the stream. We are. All right. And 36 guys of you watching. That is fantastic. Right, so again, for those of you joining late, we'll take questions afterwards if I can clarify something I said or something like that. So we get now to army bonuses, and there were 4 examples of army bonuses included in the Lord of the Rings Armies of the Lord of the Rings book. So for instance, Rohan has retained their army bonus that they had in the trial rules. So it's +1 strength for charging Rohan cavalry. The Ents are now fearless and immune to all things that will hinder them moving. So is, for instance, immobilize and transfix and compel and stuff like that. They're also not affected by nature's wrath nor the wrath of Brunnen. So the Harad special rule is still 50% bows like they always had, but now for warriors and raiders of Harad, it wasn't clarified if this also applied to upgrade those profiles, but their bows and weapons, like all weapons, gets poison. This is for warriors and raiders, that's the basic troops, not necessarily the heroes, but they might also have specials that will imply this. For Mordor, we have +1 to courage, and you get to re-roll once when making strikes, when you have more models than your opponent on the board. So this is something we need to keep track of, but is really, really cool. So small changes. What have I written here? I have no clue what I've written here. So piercing strike has changed. That's a new minor change. I would say that's a big change, but who am I? I guess that this is +1 strength minus D3 defense instead of +D3 strength. It's been thoroughly play tested. So the whole game has been really, really play tested. Jay said something along the lines of 1.5 years. They also said that it's, in their opinion, the best edition of the structure battle game we have ever seen. And he said, exciting times ahead. Now, lastly, before the Q&A session, there was a reveal of a profile, and I think we can all guess which profile that is. And that is, of course, Theoden. So, are you ready? Theoden is move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot. Strength 4, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 5 courage, might 3, 3 will, and 1 fate. So will has gone drastically up from 0 to 3, but Grima might be a bit bothersome. Alright, so I have 4 pages of questions that was asked to Jay, and he replied. So I'll go through them. Some of them are really revealing, some of them are not. So Jay has not seen any new sculpts of Warriors of Minas Tirith. Armies of the Hobbit. So this will be the future companion book to the Armies of the Lord of the Rings, compiling the old, an unexpected journey. That's the way it is. And the Vakian book will be compiled into 1 book and will be out in, I quote, couple of months. More plastic was a question. Yes, there will be more plastic because we've already seen the new plastic miniature, and it was revealed that is the first of a line of new plastic heroes. My suspicion is that they will try to completely remove all fine cast and all metal from the entire line down in the future. So either going to plastic or forged resin. Banishment on more models than Galadriel. Jay said yes. Wouldn't say if it was Gandalf or not. Will the game be faster or slower? So it'll be faster, but not by a lot. Spider Queen's still a named hero. Yes, she is. New models for the Hobbit range. So not the actual Hobbits, but the Hobbit era miniatures. So they have gone to completing a new project, which is the Lord of the Rings. So for the foreseeable future, it is Lord of the Rings. Made to order. I believe this has been answered by Adam, but now since he's not in the project anymore, this might change, but Jay simply doesn't know. But it has been looked at when Adam was at the helm. Sap will be harder to cast. Right, so what did I write here? I have no clue. Alright. Nazgul will change. That's good. Corsair Reavers have changed, and there was a question down the line as well that they are now a very different role on the battlefield that they were previously. Alright, so when it comes to the proudest moment that Jay has realised during this whole process was that now every single army is now a viable option. You no longer have the armies you take for fun at tournaments. Every single army is now a viable tournament army. He brought up the Balrog as an example, and he would like to play a Balrog at next year's Ardacon, and we all know Jay is competitive. Every profile has a weapon assigned to them, or multiple weapons assigned to them, so that is the weapons they can take as basic. He believed that you could pay a point to get something different. Named heroes cannot change their weapons. So Aragorn will always carry a sword. Gimli will always carry multiple axes, stuff like that. So no more axes on Galadriels. That's good. Axes on Galadriel, filth. Don't want it. So when it comes to the brutal power attacks, two have been looked at by wording, but one, obviously Pearl, has been changed. It's now directly away. So you look at the center of the hurling model and the center of the model that's being hurled, and that will be the direction. So yeah, more questions. New IMRAIL. Jay hasn't seen one. 12 scenarios have again been looked at, might have been tweaked. New profiles in the Lord of the Rings armies. He said that there aren't as much new profiles as there now are very, very different versions of those profiles available. So some of them might have changed drastically. But a pure army for the Army of the Dead is now viable, but there's no captain. So look to the Dark Denizens of Mercury to see how that might work in the there and back in rules manual. All profiles has a miniature. So this was a bit fuzzy when it comes to the answer, but I believe that all profiles will have an appropriate miniature that can be used. There are 11 narrative scenarios in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings book. Upgrades to warriors, like for instance, Warriors of Ardacon or Warriors of Karna, will be still available, and they're even added more. But special upgrades, if they are given by a hero, will only be viable for that warband that hero has. So for instance, Westfall Red Shields will now be limited to a warband that Erkenbrand leads. Eagles are a lot better. Some might say even better than Fell Beasts now. So we already talked about Reavers. So there are some models that we've already seen, like Hurin and Ingold and Gurritz and the Gothmonks Enforcer that will not be in the Lord of the Rings rules manual. What this generally means is that they will be released as a PDF on the Forgeworld webpage along with the product, and that they will be available in future publications that has a special place for them, and will be fully legal from the Forgeworld page as they have been balanced for the armies they bring. What have I written down here? I'm sorry, I have bad handwriting when writing fast, and Jay talks very fast. Roll-offs stayed the same. Throwing weapons will not get a -1 penalty when thrown from a charging model into close combat. So campaigns. So there isn't a campaign setting in the either the Armies or the Lord of the Rings or the main rulebook, but future stuff, as long as Jay is doing the rules writing, will definitely have a narrative campaign, as he loves that sort of thing. His words, not mine. Helmingers will still be strength 4. New upgrade kits, nothing concrete. Will Dale get justice? Maybe. Again, bit of fuzzy answer. And then, very interesting question. The average model count of an army built with a new system, roughly the same, but slightly more. So that kind of concluded the Q&A session. A big thanks to Jay for divulging all of this and confirming some of the speculation that has been rampant on the internet for quite some time, as well as bringing loads more stuff into the fold. So I'll go to the other side of the camera and flip it so that I can see your questions and comments. Be aware that there's a slight delay, so I might just chat on for a bit until there are a couple of comments there. But yeah, we'll see. All right, so We have from Shadow and Flame. No, no Captain of the Dead. Like so, live chat. Right, so more stuff to put in the SPG Grand campaign. Yes, while we will have more stuff to put in the SPG Grand campaign. Fantastic. Jesse Schaefer writes, I hope good can't ally with evil. Can you confirm? I think that's a given. I don't need to confirm this. That is pretty much a given. The chat keeps going away from me. Thank you for doing this, says Joanne Fleck. You are mostly welcome. I love doing this. I love sharing news with you guys, and that is one of the reasons why I do what I do. Yeah. Luxor 2111 says, thank you very much for taking the efforts to live stream Ardacon. It is my pleasure. It is, I won't lie to you, it is tiring. It is very tiring, in fact. But the thing is that I love it so much that I'm already having chats with people about improving streaming for next year. I'm not confirming there is a next year because that's not up to me. But the thing is that I want to be ready for next year or even similar events. So for instance, I've talked to people who are doing this professionally, and we're seeing about doing a very, very professional like live stream in the future. All right, so other comments. James Gilray says, do we think it will take a lot of time to goes away from me. Do it take a lot of time to immerse ourselves with new rules, or do you imagine it will be an easy process to adapt the new rules? I think that it will be a slight adaptation to what we do now, but I think it will be very, very streamlined. What I've seen now is that there will be restrictions. So you have to think very, very much about how you do an army. But when it comes to the big things, like the big changes, I think that will go around naturally. Jez says, cheers for streaming. You're welcome. Shadow and Flame, appreciate it. You're welcome again. Jez Hunt, bully them into doing next year. I won't bully anyone. I'm a very kind person. I don't do bully. I was bullied, so I don't do that. Jonas 606. Will some heroes take 6 in their warband like a minor hero level? I presume yes. It wasn't said specifically, but I think it is very much implied as there are multiple tiers. I think he said there were 5 tiers. So you can pretty much suspect that as a 18, 12, and 6, and then maybe 9, and well, maybe a 0, and then maybe 15 or something like that. I think that is correct. Stanislav Fatumsky, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. You should learn how to make SPG from Poland, guys. Well, I know you Polish guys do your own thing with SPG, but as a worldwide community, I do trust the guys over at Nottingham to make the best game they think is possible. Right, so I'll just scroll through the chat and see if I missed anything. Right, so got them there. So excited, says Alexander Gulman. Matt King, was there anything mentioned about weapon attacks like Piercing Strike? Yes, Piercing Strike will be changed. Patrick says that's fast, cool. Matt King does a back to you. Right, so I'm not completely sure when this was written. So far, so good, yeah. Right, so there are more questions. Luxor says, any indication on how regular the releases for Middle-earth SPG will be from Jay? So he didn't say anything about the releases, but I do think there was something mentioned earlier about this, which was that there will be monthly releases. Now, if that's just a re-release, a rebranding of old packaging, or that is something completely new. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information. But as soon as I get this information, I will, of course, give it to you as soon as possible. So if there's no more questions, I'll end the stream here. Thank you guys for joining. I will then upload this. So yeah, James Gilray says, do we get an idea if we can buy the rulebook separately and the price? Yes, I've already divulged this information. The rulebook will be available at the same time, separately as the box, and it will be on the 1st of September, and the price is £35. So that means there's £60 you get the extra box. Right. So I'll upload this to the channel so that people can see this afterward if they didn't join the stream. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a lot of fun. And please join our streams tomorrow, as we will stream 3 more games. We'll stream Game 5, Game 6, and the championship round of the Ardacon World Team Championships. Obviously, the championship round is a single game to produce the new world champion, because, oh, spoilers, there will be a new world champion, probably, as both Ed Ball and David Reed have lost games. So, ooh, big news there. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Watch the streams tomorrow. There might be ad hoc streams throughout the night. What do I know? Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And do consider supporting SCF on Patreon using the link in the description below. It is a fantastic way for you to support our efforts here at the studio, and it gives us the monetary means to expand, improve, give you more videos each and every week, and do exclusive for our patrons, all that cool stuff. And that's one of the cool things as a patron. You get exclusives each and every month, which you vote for, which game system to do. So if that's at all interesting for you guys, click the link in the description below and it'll take you to our Patreon page. Support $1 a month, $10 a month. Your support means the world to us either way. And as ever, and more importantly, guys, support your hobby.